How's it going, everybody? This is Jose from the Stock Market 101 channel, and I hope you guys are having a great day. And as always, if you guys haven't checked out my latest videos, I suggest you go check them out real quick. And if you're new, please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And other than that, let's get right into the video. Aurora Cannabis. So Aurora Cannabis reported their fourth quarter earnings yesterday, I believe. And as you see, that the price did jump up quite a bit, up to $10.40 being its highest point, which is a well over 10% gain if you would have got in the day before. But as you see here, it's basically retracted from its gains today, coming back to where it started earlier this week. So let's see what's going on. Canadian marijuana producer Aurora Cannabis posts a surprise profit as it prepares to list its stock in the US. The company increased its gross margins thanks to the higher selling price per gram of cannabis. Aurora earned 0.40 Canadian dollars, easily beating the 0.03 Canadian dollar loss that analysts surveyed by Bloomberg were expecting. That's a good sign right there. Basically more than 10 times. Revenue more than doubled from the same quarter last year, coming in at 19.1 million Canadian dollars, missing the 23 million Canadian dollars that were expected. The revenue did double, but it was short of expectations, which isn't a good sign, but it did double from last year, which is good. The expectations are very high for any cannabis company right now because the evaluations on every other cannabis company are very high, and these companies need to live up to their expectations. Aurora made substantial progress towards our strategical goal of becoming the global scale and margin leader in the cannabis industry, establishing a vertically integrated company with a broadly diversified product offering with a large global footprint. Our high-paced, consistent execution has enabled us to complete a number of transformative acquisitions, bringing together industry-leading companies in terms of scale, quality, efficiency, plant and medical science, product development and innovation, brands, and international distribution. The company's average selling price for dried cannabis increased to 8.02 Canadian dollars per gram from 0.3 Canadian dollars per gram last quarter, while its production costs rose to 1.7 Canadian dollars from 1.52 Canadian dollars. This increase helped the company's full year margins grow to 65% from 56% last year. In total, Aurora said it produced 2.2 million kilograms of cannabis and sold 1.6 million this year. So the company is increasing its prices, as you see, from 7.3 last year to 8.02 Canadian dollars per gram, but production costs are rising from 1.52 Canadian dollars last year to 1.7 this year. But they are producing substantial amount of cannabis, as you see here, 2.2 million kilograms, and they sold 1.6. And let's move on to the next article. The Berkshire Hathaway of cannabis companies benefit from other pot stocks rise. Canada-based Aurora Cannabis Inc. tripled its revenue thanks to bigger weed sales in the final quarter of its fiscal year, but the pot producer's profit gains were mostly the result of a different business investing in other marijuana companies. In about 3 weeks from now, a significant increase in demand will initially come from the Canadian legal consumer use market, Aurora Chief Corporate Officer Cameron Batley said on a conference call Tuesday morning. We've been building inventory in anticipation of that market and have supply arrangements with just about every province and territory in Canada to supply a broad range of dry flower and higher margin products such as pre-rolls, oils, and capsules. Aurora appears prepared for recreational legalization in other ways as well, mainly by becoming the Berkshire Hathaway of cannabis. Aurora has invested heavily in other weed businesses and said Tuesday that as of September 21st, the total value of the company's investments in product companies was worth more than $700 million. So this is actually very good that Aurora is investing in other companies to help it grow more. That's a very good sign as a shareholder that's what you want to hear, that the company is using its money to expand its business. Strong gains for pot stocks stoked Aurora's profit. The company reported earnings of 17.9 million Canadian dollars, up from losses of 4.8 million Canadian dollars in the year earlier. That's awesome. It's on the positive side now, as you see, and it lost 4.8 million last year, but look at this huge gain from last year, from a loss of 4.8 million to now 80 million basically. Gross profit, a line item in the financial statements that measure the amount a company earns before many costs are factored, was much lower at 20.6 million Canadian dollars, though still a strong gain from 5.8 million Canadian dollars in the year ago period. Like it said, much lower, but still strong gain from last year. That's what you want to see, that the company is moving forward instead of backwards. An example of Aurora's bets on the sector included stake in Green Organic Dutchman Holding, TGOD, a bet the company made earlier this year and has made Aurora very rich on paper. Aurora said in January that it had invested 55 million Canadian dollars in Dutchman, purchasing 33 million shares for $1.65 a share. Dutchman closed at $8.25 Monday, which would value Aurora's stake at roughly 270 million Canadian dollars. Aurora noted in its news release that it owns about 17% of Dutchman and has options to increase that stake to more than 50%. Other public companies that Aurora has invested in that were disclosed with its fiscal fourth quarter earnings report included Hemco Food and Fiber Inc., CTT Pharmaceutical Inc., and Chum Holdings. Aurora also disclosed the purchase of 20% of a private company, Capasium Inc., which is providing equipment to Aurora for manufacturing soft gel pills for the medicinal market. As you see, Aurora is working very hard. They're expanding, investing, and that's all great signs that Aurora will be super successful into the future. Aurora has been using these investments to establish partnerships that could provide useful as cannabis becomes legal. For instance, Batley said on Tuesday's earnings call that an investment in Alcanna, a private chain of liquor stores in Canada, includes the establishment of a chain of Aurora branded cannabis retail stores in Alberta. It's investing even in liquor stores so they can probably put their products onto the shelves, which is great. Aurora also is highly acquisitive, as the company listed 6 full acquisitions it's completed or agreed upon since the fiscal year reported Monday ended on June 30th. Those included the massive $2.5 billion deal for MedRelief that was announced in May, a $290 million agreement to purchase ICC Labs Inc. and purchase of Hot House Consulting Inc., Anandia Laboratories Inc., AgroPro UAB, and Borola UAB. Aurora hopes to make its own stock more investable for Americans with a listing on a senior U.S. exchange. The company confirmed in Monday's release, but executives did not specify which one. Rival Tilray Inc., when public on the Nasdaq, Kronos and Canopy are cross-listed in the U.S. Very good news from Aurora Cannabis. Hopefully when October 17th happens, Aurora Cannabis does go down so we all can put money into this, because this is going to be one of the top dogs in the cannabis industry going into the future. But it's going to have to keep increasing its revenue to justify that super high evaluation. But in the long term, I feel like this company could potentially hit a way higher market cap than 10 billion, maybe even 20, 30, 40 billion. Maybe you can even get it to the 100 billions if it keeps expanding its business all over the world. Super exciting to be anywhere in the cannabis industry right now. I'm still wondering whether or not that this so-called bubble will pop, and when will it pop if it does. Most people are saying right after the legalization date that most cannabis companies will drop significantly. So that's why I'm just watching. If it doesn't drop, I'll just keep buying on dips, because I believe that these companies, I believe that Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, etc., those companies right there will be the top dogs and have a lot of growth ahead of them. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you guys also increasing your positions in your cannabis holdings, or are you guys waiting to see what happens after the legalization date, which is October 17th? Which in fact is a day before my birthday. So if you guys remember, wish me a happy birthday whenever I release a video on that day, on October 18th. I won't say anything about it from now on. I'm just gonna see if any of you guys could remember. But other than that, guys, please drop a like, subscribe, turn post notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.